Hey guys, it's Lucky Mike here for a Q&A session. Remember a couple of weeks ago there was a post on my Facebook fan page where I asked you to ask me questions. Well, today is the day and I'll answer all of them. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. Let's start with question number 1 from Vivian Branco. Hi Lucky Mike, heart. Oh, thank you. It's always great to see you. I just have one question. Is it better just collect the hourly side games and posted bonuses until you have collected at least 1 trillion coins? The reason I ask this is because I just can't get ahead. I lose more than I win. Love you, Lucky Mike. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Thank you for the question, Vivian. That's an interesting question, but to be honest, I don't think it really matters. It mostly depends on the betting strategy. So if you like to bet bigger, you better save up more coins and then you go back to the game and you rock. Moving on to question number 2. Johnny Chance asks, hey bud, please explain the free coins given away in Messenger. It is supposed to renew every 24 hours, but it sure appears to me that it's not consistent. Also, are they grouped by some sort of category or something? As soon as I think I have it figured out and I have a system, I get dunked on. Please educate. Okay. Yeah, there are 2 ways you can get free coins in Messenger: by completing your daily quiz and daily bonus, which renew every 24 hours. But if it doesn't work like that for you or you have any kind of issues, you should definitely contact Murka's support and they will check everything and yeah, they will personally help you. Moving on to question number 3. Michael J Yanosik asks, where does the inspiration come from? I mean, you have great themes and graphics look awesome too. Oh, you stop it! The characters are truly amazing and original. Where did the idea come from? That's a nice question! You know, we have a team of game designers fully responsible for the game and they choose all of the topics and themes for the slots and features that you play every day. And to be honest with you, I think that they're the most creative people we have in Murka. As for the graphics, we have the best artists and designers in our branch and they'll be extremely happy to hear your feedback and that the players appreciate their work. So thank you for your question, Michael. Moving on to question number 4. Tamie Conyers asks, how often do you get a haircut? And how much do you pay for one? Here in USA, I pay $25 and I get one every 3 to 6 months. Hello Tamie, and thank you for your question. I'd say I pay like $20–25 per haircut, but that is quite expensive for Ukraine, and I visit my barber like every once a month. Moving on to question number 5. Tony Terry asks, between Scare Slots and Slot Zero, which is your favorite to play? That's a tricky question, Tony. I won't tell you. It's like to tell your kids who you love more. That's impossible. Moving on to question number 6. Wahid Mino asks, fishing is a wonderful hobby. Oh yes, it is. When did you learn? How old were you? That's a really interesting question. So, long story short, that happened to me right after my wedding, about 3 years ago. So, I was just married and there was a kind of a voice in my head and it asked me, Lucky Mike, why have you never tried fishing? And I was like, oh really, why? So ever since then, I adore fishing. I just tried it and I felt in love with it, but I'm still learning, you know. In some of the disciplines I'm feeling like I'm a pro, but in others I have to learn and there is a big way. Yeah, so thank you for your question. Angela Leutton asks, Lucky Mike, if you could pick one ability to have, for example, being able to read minds or being able to transport yourself to wherever you would like to go, what ability would you choose? Oh, that's a very cool question actually. Let me think. You know, self-healing like Wolverine would be really nice, but other than that, I would probably pick an ability to copy other people's talents. Like I would be playing basketball like LeBron James, I would be boxing like Muhammad Ali, and playing chess like Magnus Carlsen. That would be super cool. Moving on to the next question, Christy Kinser asks, how can you claim a featured slot to be one of your regular choices instead of just to be randomly played like I have ones that I really like to always have the option to play? That's a really cool question and yeah, I'll explain. You cannot choose one slot to be featured, but that is good, and I'll explain you why. Because, you know, you play slots, you level up, you go further and further, and you open more slots, and sooner or later you will always open the slot that you like to play the most. And featured slot provides you with an opportunity to try those newer slots which are still locked for you, so that's really good, and that would be bad if just one slot would be featured for all the time, so that's a cool trick. Brandon Mattox asks, what's like making such successful games? You know, it's a great pleasure to hear feedback like that, and it's awesome to make games in Murka. Moving on to the next question. Linda Harkey Kunert asks, I know you've talked to favorite recipes in fishing. What are some of your other interests? Do you find that your non-working time you'd rather do anything other than play games, or you do love them 24/7? Thank you for the question, Linda, and now I'll answer. You know, I actually have so many interests and hobbies that I barely find enough time for all of them, and yeah, now I can list some of them. That's kiteboarding, surfing, playing chess, playing squash, Rubik's Cube. Then now I bought myself a beautiful darts, and yeah, I have so many hobbies that I don't have that much time, unfortunately. Another good question from Debra Lee Cheropita. Is there an ending level to scare slots? I hope that this one will never come, because as long as we make new beautiful slots, this game will stay alive. But yeah, today there is a furthest level on the map, but yeah, I won't call it because there is no need. When the video goes live, there will be a new one which will be even further. But yeah, once again, this is not the final one, and once again I hope that the final one will never appear. Cathy Gallagher asks, how do I get a trip to visit Murka? Cathy, if you really want to make it to Ukraine, you're always welcome here, so if you're thinking about a journey like that, please direct message me and we'll talk about that. And there is a lovely question from Stephanie Adkins. How did scare slots and slots originate? I used to see ads a long time ago for scare slots advertising a new, different and exciting slot that had adventure stories. Did there used to be stories regarding each character? You know, that's a very cool question, and I'm thinking about making a separate video episode where I'll explain the story behind scare slots and slot era and how those games were created, like what was the idea behind them. But long story short, scare slots was like a boom of an idea to combine most of the best slots we had back in the days in Murka and the fantasy world, like maps, sexy ladies, orcs, wars, and so many other things. So yeah, that was very creative, and probably that's why this game is still so popular. But once again, I promise I will make a separate video episode where I'll tell you even more. Anyin Vouge asks, if you could visit anywhere in the world, where would that be? I've been thinking about that for so many times, and yeah, I would probably, 2 days ago, I would probably have chosen Japan and maybe Australia, but yesterday I watched a very beautiful video about Hawaii, and now I'm dreaming about going there. So yeah, probably Japan, Hawaii and Australia. That would be nice. Lori L.Eytcheson Peterson asks, what's your favorite games? If we're talking about social casino games, then of course Scare Slots, Slot Zero, Infinity Slots and Slot Journey, and even though Scare Hold'em Poker is not a social casino game, I still love it. And yeah, if we're talking about non-Murka games, then probably chess. Yeah, I love chess, I watch a lot of chess, even though I'm a bad chess player. Not the cleverest person in the world, obviously, but I do love chess. And yeah, game of squash, it's like tennis, but a bit more dynamic and you're playing in a closed room. So that's it, thank you for the question. Thimas Bagwell asks, how do I even get ahead in this game? I assume that he's talking about Scare Slots, Infinity Slots or Slot Zero, and it's all about dedication and a little bit of luck. But the problem is that so many players are trying hard to move on the map as far as possible and as quick as possible, and they forget about the fun of it. Just, guys, you should always remember that you're playing beautiful slots, like one of the best slots possible on Earth. So sometimes we should forget about challenges, about map, and just have the fun of playing slots. Dylan Blue or Rook asks, hello, did you always want to make any game, or was this a long time making? If I understand the question correctly, then it takes a lot of time and dedication and patience to make a game as good as Scare Slots, and I'm not even talking that we have a very big team of people who are working so hard to make the players happy and satisfied. So yeah, it's not an easy process to make games. Marco Platzer says, I greet you all Murka players, thank you. My question, are you satisfied with the mission tasks? I love missions, they make the game so much more exciting, and yeah, whenever we have a fresh idea, we always try to implement it in a new kind of mission, so obviously I'm very satisfied with them. Roman Zouhar asks, what's the best strategy to get at least 1 billion coins? Thanks. You know, Roman, Rome was not built in a day, and yeah, it takes time, patience, and a lot of dedication to get there to the billion. But if you play the game on daily basis, if you complete your daily missions, daily challenges, if you collect your free coins on Murka fan pages and Lucky Mike's fan page, sooner or later you will get there. Like, there is no other way. I'm absolutely sure that you will get your billion coins and even more playing the game every day. And now the final question from one of the best players we have in Murka community. Diane Higgs asks, you speak so many different languages and you do it beautifully. Oh, you stop it. Do you and your wife speak to each other in other different languages? You know, it's been a while when we've been studying German and we tried to do so, but nowadays, when we're working from home together, I hear her speaking English all the time and so does she, but it's not like we try to speak English to each other in the evening because we watch so many movies, we listen to the music, and yeah, we don't need to practice it even more. We're sometimes even tired of English, but thank you for your question. So that was the final question, and I have to tell you that I loved every single question you've asked. I really appreciate all the feedback you left, and I love it! Why won't we make it once again in a month or two? And if you enjoyed my answers, please like this video and subscribe to Murka Game Shows and Freebies YouTube channel. That was your boy Lucky Mike. Goodbye, guys!